Welcome into the Fan Speak Network. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and partner, Mr. Andrew, the TD King, Rob. And we also have a very special guest this evening, fresh off the NFL Combine, Mr. Dave Dynasty Dorks Heilman. How are we doing, gentlemen? Good evening.
Bruni, as always, doing well. Very excited to talk to Dave. Haven't talked to him in a little bit of time here, and it's nice to know somebody who actually goes to the combine, and we don't have to just read about it on Twitter or on NFL.com. So sure, we'll get into a little bit of that combine experience that everyone wants to know about as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome in, Dave. Again, fresh off the combine. You're like parked right down the street, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I live in Indy, so it's
Indy?
it's nice, and they don't even tell you that you got credentials until like 8 days before. So it was really, really nice. And so, and you said your partner, you guys have made this official. That's nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. You've used that joke before. It's okay.
Common law married.
Double back to it. It withstands time. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, do it for the bit, as we say. We are back to do another live big board draft. Feeling good. I'm up to about 10 drafts myself. Andrew, you still clocking in at a low, like what, say 7?
Yeah, I think I got 8 in now.
Okay.
Again, you know me. I don't go too crazy on the old big board. I like to know a little bit more information before I spend that
Every
money.
now and again, yeah, you get a free hour. Pop a draft. Very similar to Shane Gillis's skit of couple beers, pop a draft, kick back. Dave, you done any big boards yet, other than or any other drafting, I should say, other than mocks and dynasty startups?
Not yet. I've been doing just getting ready for the rookies, doing a lot of prep for the draft, trying to get familiar with everybody. And the combine I have so many videos that I need to put out.
Been seeing a few. Been looking good. Excited to definitely see more. And we have a lot of questions for you this evening. Andrew, you want to get the old Underdog pulled up and we'll get going here?
We're going to do combine stuff with Dave, and then Dave's going to hop off, and then we're going to do big board draft. So,
okay. All right.
Roll into it. Any burning desire questions straight out of the gate, Bruni? If not, I did get one on Twitter from Fantasy Football Garage. If you want me to go into that one right away.
Is Jack Besh worth the hype there? I mean, he looked good. I felt he looked really smooth in the field drills.
Yeah, he looks good, and I know the whole. There's the sentimental part of everything that goes on with him, but he looked good at the Senior Bowl. He was definitely one of the top players there, and then coming out to the combine looks good. He's got good size. He's not not necessarily the fastest guy in the world, but the way Daniel Jeremiah describes this draft is there's a lot of starters in this draft. There's maybe there's not as many superstars. But there's a lot of starters, and Besh is a guy that can take advantage of a not a great receiver class. I mean, there's some good players, but it's not what we're used to. Like, we've been very spoiled recently, and this is not necessarily, at least it doesn't appear to be, one of those classes.
Dave, so one guy that I've been interested in, and I saw him fall down a couple of people's boards, is Caleb Johnson. Any particular reason in your eyes why that's happening? Like, I thought he did decent, right? Like, I don't really see an issue with him, but I mean, you're the expert, so you tell me, should I be lowering him on our best board rankings here?
Yeah, I think it's always smart to do your rankings prior to the combine, and then not overreact. So many people overreacted when Bucky Irving didn't run as fast as he was supposed to draft. Kyron Williams he's going to be XFL bound because he didn't run fast. Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette can't jump, so they're going to be busts. And so people overreact. I mean, they're not going to look good on an analytics model. And Caleb Johnson is not. What Caleb Johnson is to me is, he's a one-cut runner, and he's going to need to go in the right situation. Like, I don't think he's going to be one of those guys that gets out there and makes a whole bunch of people miss and hurdles people and yada, yada. But if he goes to one of those wide zone schemes, he's a one-cut runner and can go. And he's got some good size to him, and that's how he ran. That's not bad for his size. I mean, that was the whole, Bucky Irving thing was like, you can't be smaller and slower. If you're slower, you better be a big guy. And so, Johnson could be a guy that maybe he's not the number one back. Maybe he's more of a complementary piece, but he can be everything that Tank Bigsby is, and maybe a little bit better.
When you said that he needs to go to like a good situation, any like teams kind of pop up in your mind, like, that you think that he would do well if they drafted him?
Yeah, I mean, he's the kind of guy that goes to like the San Francisco 49ers in the 5th or 6th round and becomes a fantasy stud. But you look at anyone from that like Shanahan tree, all the offensive coordinators throughout that are sprinkled throughout the league, any of those situations. And then you also like look at places where like they might pair him with a shiftier back, where he's more, he could be the David Montgomery type of player.
So I did say, before that we had a question from somebody. So it was Fantasy Football Garage, who's AKA Candyman on Underdog. He wants to know Loveland versus Tyler Warren. So, and the way I'm taking this is, so obviously how much better is Tyler Warren than Loveland? And also then I'll give you the ADPs then, and then just ask you about value per ADP. So just how much better is Warren than Loveland in your eyes?
In my eyes, I think that they're probably a lot closer than people think. Tyler Warren is an absolute beast, and his numbers are absolutely gaudy. But he was the number one piece on an offense where a bunch of receivers got hurt, and he was fed. And he's also a little bit older. Loveland they didn't throw the ball that much. They didn't do much with him in Michigan. And this year he played hurt. Like he played with a busted shoulder for the second half of the season. He waited till the end of the season to have surgery. So if you see any combine pictures of him, he's wearing a sling because he did get, did have surgery after. So, but like Daniel Jeremiah did his conference call, and there's like just a great quote about it. And he's like, I have them the exact same grade. And it just really is kind of like what is, if somebody took Loveland over Tyler Warren, I would not be surprised. Some teams have Loveland as their one. Warren is more the Gronk type, and Loveland is more of the Kelsey, out of the Kelsey tree. He's going to be lining up in the flex. He's going to be, he's going to be doing option routes, pivot routes, things like that, where you're going to take Tyler Warren, you're going to run him across the middle like George Kittle, and then he's going to just make a bunch of people miss. And Warren, I loved it as a Giants fan. He said he met Jeremy Shockey, and Shockey was like, "You remind me of me." And he was like, I watched your tape. I wish I could. I want to be like you. And he's like, "You already are," But he described his game like Shockey, and I was like, "Yeah, I could see that."
Yeah, definitely. And, as a Penn State fan, I watched a lot of Tyler Warren, specifically, watched him do things that other tight ends just don't do. I mean, he snapped the ball as a center, ran down, and then caught a touchdown pass. Like they've used him in the run game. Like he just does a lot of different things that tight ends typically don't do. Do you think that will translate to the NFL at all? Like, do you see them using any team really just using him, outside the box a little bit, things that we don't normally see with tight ends?
We could. I mean, some teams do some tight end sweeps and things like that. It just, it kind of takes a special situation. Everyone's talking about, Sean Payton and the Joker. I don't think Tyler Warren's going to be available when the Denver Broncos are picking. But you look at something like that. The Jets is a place where a lot of people, are putting Tyler Warren in their mock drafts. Not a bad spot, but who's the quarterback going to be? Is it going to be Tyler Warren and Justin Fields? It's going to be, Tyler Warren and like, who is it going to be? And then, if Tyler Warren goes, we're not talking about dynasty, we're talking about best ball. If Tyler Warren goes to the Jets and their quarterback is Justin Fields, and then you go and have Loveland fall to 20 and he goes to the Broncos, I mean, I think that ADP is going to get a lot closer.
Yeah, and speaking of that, so currently right now on Underdog, Warren is ADP 99, and that's tight. Loveland is ADP 130, tight end 13. So with that knowledge, you think Loveland is there, is essentially a better pick at that value?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't know where they're going to go, and so at this point, especially rookie tight ends, rookie tight ends aren't necessarily always, they're not blowing it up year one, and so what's going on, Meg? So yeah, I think as far as the the situation with them, like it's just such a you look at the replacement value. Who are you choosing Tyler Warren over? Who are you choosing Leveling over? That's
what I wanted to ask you actually is, some of the other tight ends that are going around their ADP. So Warren is, tight end 8, if just playing the game here, would you rather have Warren or Njoku?
Again, you don't know the quarterback is going to be.
Right, exactly. Like today, like based on Warren's profile, like would you say he's worthy to go ahead of Njoku? Like if you're staring down the barrel here,
yeah,
say it's like startup.
Yeah, I mean you could take Warren in that situation. I think they're going to be similar. I mean, Njoku's well, he's done well when he's had Jameis and done well when he had Flacco, but I mean we've seen him go away quite a bit. And Warren, you just got that upside of what's he going to be.
Right. Okay. Tyler Warren or Travis Kelce?
Kelce.
Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren.
Warren.
Dallas Goedert, Tyler Warren.
Warren.
And then you get to Loveland. So there you go.
Yeah. And so like with that, like I said, I'm looking at like what other players, and like if there's a receiver in that range where I could go with a receiver I like instead of Warren and then take Loveland 3 rounds later, 4 rounds later, I'm probably gonna do that.
So let's so I can give you a couple. There's like 3 or 4 that go around Loveland or that go around Warren right now. So Darnell Mooney, it goes 96. Mooney or Warren?
Mooney.
Okay. Rashid Shaheed.
Warren.
Okay. Michael Pittman.
Well, I know best ball. So best
Right.
ball is
just best ball.
He's probably there, but he's coming off that injury. They're going with Derek Carr. They're gonna have Derek Carr. They got a new offensive coordinator over there. I'll go back. I'll take Shaheed in best ball.
Okay. Pittman. Pittman goes 5 picks after Warren.
As long as Anthony Richardson's at quarterback, I'm gonna have to go with Warren.
Let's do 2 more. Cooper Kupp goes a little before Warren.
You don't know the situation yet for any of them. So, but I'll go with Warren. Kupp is just really on the decline.
Yeah, and then Rashad Bateman.
Warren.
Okay, so it sounds like you kind of just like Warren in that spot. I mean, and again, like for best ball, it just depends on like what your build looks like coming, to ADP 100.
And part of that's positional value. You're just like, if you're not going to get one of those earlier tight ends, I'd rather go and take a shot on Warren over Rashad Bateman. Like, I like Bateman, but like you probably or hopefully have a lot better receiving options, and you can punt the position a little bit.
Yep. So I guess just floor's yours. Open up to some guys that you like, based off your what you saw at the combine, and then give us a few guys that you don't as well. So floor's yours.
Yeah, I'll start the quarterback position. I think everyone's talking about Jackson Dart, and I'm not going to go and throw some. What about that guy that went to college for 7 or 8 years? Like he's interesting, but like Jackson Dart could get a very interesting situation. He's he could go like no one expected Michael Penix to go in the top 10. He could easily end up in the top 10 of the draft if somebody. Like, it just takes one team to love him. And like I think he's a lot closer to QB2 than he is like closer to QB4. I think he's like definitely the QB3, but some boards probably might have messed the QB2 over Sanders. And if he goes to the right situation, like plop him in there with the Steelers. We Russell Wilson was decent last year with Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is terrible head coach, but he's a decent offensive coordinator. We saw what he did with Ryan Tannehill. As far as fantasy production, even Marcus Mariota was relevant for fantasy when he was the quarterback for them. And Dart can move. I don't know if you've seen the TikToks of him on roller skates playing tag, but this guy's he's also he's got a good size on him on top of it. Yeah, Chris Winkie. No, the kid from Louisville. He ran the 40 in the second group. I think it's Shuck, Tyler Shuck. He literally, because of injuries and COVID, he's like Van Wilder. He's got like 7 years of college. He's 25. But he's an interesting player, just because of his traits and stuff. But I think Jackson Dart could be someone that could be fantasy relevant this year, because you have so many teams later on in the draft that are still QB needy. Like, we don't know what the Steelers are going to look like. We just talked about the Colts. If Jackson Dart got drafted by the Colts at 15, he's taking Anthony Richardson's job. We talked about the Saints. And if he goes to day 2, then you got all these other guys. You got, the Giants and the Jets and all these other places. So like, I think he's a very interesting play. As far as the running back position, there's so many good running backs. This is such a deep class. And so like, anytime somebody posts, so like, what about these year 3 breakouts? Those guys are screwed. Like, anybody that is like, if you're a Jag, or like if you're below like the average line, you're probably going to lose your job. Like, there is 10 or 12 running backs that are ready to go and be like borderline starters. And I say that because there's not many full blown like Saquon, like, you're the guy. There's so many duos and committees, but like, there's so many guys that are going to lose their job because there's a lot of good backs. The one that stood out to me, like Quinshon Judkins had a very good combine, especially for his size. Him and Travion Henderson are both starters in the league. Amarion Hampton is a starter in the league. And then, of course, Ashton Jenney is really good. But I loved Dylan Sampson. I think as far as a pass catcher, he looked really good. Kid out of Tennessee. He's got decent size, but he's just real quick, runs real smooth routes, good hands. I think he's someone that can – I think, he's going to be – like, I was joking around. I said, round 4 is the new round 3. It's so deep of a class. You're going to see starters. Like last year, Bucky Irving and Tyrone Tracy were the best fantasy options as far as the rookies. And both of those guys were day 3 picks. So, like, don't sleep on day 3 picks. As far as I know that Caleb Johnson is down on people's board, but I think he'll be all right. As far as the receivers, Matthew Golden, he was the fastest guy. He was already in the borderline wide receiver 3 for me. So like, I think he's a guy that, he's going to go in the first round. You look at the number 1 receiver on most people's board is Tet. Like, how high is McKinley going?
So Tet, hold on. Yeah, let me go down here. I just saw him. So right now he's going. Where the hell was he? Right here. He's going ADP 44. He's wide receiver 24 off the board, going around the likes of Devontae Smith, Jamison Williams, Zay Flowers, Roma Dunze, DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice. How you feeling about that? Dave?
Oh, I'm glad it's not me.
I did think it was you for a second there, Bruni.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was going to ask Dave about Tet McMillan because I was just looking at some of the rankings while he was talking, and that was one that, like, I haven't drafted any of them yet, and I'm just curious to see like what he thinks about that. He's currently frozen in time. He back. So Tet, wide receiver 24, 44 ADP. Going around Devontae Smith, Jamison Williams, Zay Flowers, Roma Dunze, DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice. How are we feeling?
I'm probably not interested over those names. I think it's some pretty good names, but at least he's at like last year, Marvin Harrison Jr. was set up to fail so bad because he was like wide receiver 8.
Well,
so I think
I wanted to ask you about that because last year Marvin Harrison's ADP was like 12, 13, 14. This year, it's Ashton Jenney at like pick 13. Are we feeling okay about that? I'm
feeling okay about Jenney. I feel like, with with the way the running backs are, like you got the big three, and then it's
Mhm.
kind of who's next, and Genty's probably next.
Where's a
Like,
landing spot where that he can't live up to that ADP though? Like, where could be somewhere he goes and that doesn't pan out? Because that still feels very high for me.
I mean, we can all universally just hate on Dallas, but I mean, Dallas would actually be a good spot. The
Mhm.
Bears are shaping up to be a good spot.
No, my Roshan Johnson. No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
No, Ro could be.
Maybe the Saints is a bad spot if he goes to the Saints and has to sit behind Kamara or share with Kamara. But like,
Okay.
I don't really know where a bad spot would be because anyone that drafts him in the first round,
Mhm.
like crazy stuff happens. But like, nobody's going to draft a running back in the first round and then not play them year one. And there's so many good spots. Like if he falls down the board and ends up on the Chargers or the Broncos or the Vikings, like all great, all great. And like then you look at a team like, like I said, the Bears are really shaping up to be a really good spot for him. You see him go there a lot. The Cowboys are another very common spot. And then like, and he might fall down the board a little bit just because the running back position and because there's so much depth, but that Amaria Hampton, he's going to be, I love Trey Henderson. Some people like Caleb Johnson, more than him, or Quinshon Judkins more than him. I like Trey Henderson. He not only is he a bodyguard, like he is the best blocking, pass blocking running back in the draft, but he's a really good pass catcher. And you saw it at Ohio State. I mean, if you watch the playoffs, he took a couple, screenplays or whatever and took him to the house. So he's a playmaker. But like I said, Dylan Sampson's a guy I like. Going back to the receivers, McMillan, he's a bigger guy. And I know that sometimes the outside receivers, it takes a little while to translate, where like some of the guys that play the slot, they just got like such a short line to the quarterback that they can get some production early. Like Luther Burden, he's got some flexibility, but he's like very like Stephon Diggs-esque type of player that can just catch it and run. He's really good. Emeka Egbuka is really good. And then Matthew Golden, who I think Golden was the guy that I'm a big move the sticks guy. And so he's been talking about him at all. He's he's number 24 on Daniel Jeremiah's big board before the combine. And people are like, man, you really like Golden. And then now Golden went and ran that 40 and looked that good. And they're like, okay, is he wide receiver 2 or 3? Egbuka is just really good. Like I think he's going to hit the ground running and be a good pro. He's pretty much like a ready-made slot receiver. I know some people put him in the Texans. I know Tank Dell's already there, but we know Tank Dell's getting hurt a lot. I mean, you put him
for the year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was really significant knee injury. And so you put him back with CJ Stroud in the slot there. You put him in one of these teams. I mean, you put him on the Rams and, in that Cooper Kupp role. I think Egbuka is going to be really good, but there's some good receivers. And then there's just guys that like, we don't know. We don't know. Like I like Bash and I like Jaden Higgins. Like I like those guys. But like I'm not as confident in like their year one production as I am with like Trey Harris, Matthew Golden, Egbuka, Luther Burden, and like Ted McMillan. I like him, but like you're also just having to pay, and so it just always feels better when you're not having to risk as much and you're getting some of these guys later on. Like, and I will say this, like, one strategy for like just for fantasy football in general, if you want to shoot for upside, like stop taking these guys that are just because they're projected higher later in your drafts. Like at the last 6 or 7 picks should all be about upside, and there's nobody that's got the more upside than these rookies. And we see it the second half of the season. After their bye week, the team switches over to a new running back or like really starts implementing receivers into the game. And like Bucky Irving took off last year, like after their bye week, he just took over the backfield. And Rachaad White still was pretty decent during that time, which was crazy. But like Bucky Irving was top 5 back. Chase Brown, you saw him take over that backfield. And like none of these guys were drafted high in your best ball drafts or in your your redraft.
Yeah. So let's check in here with the chat real quick. So Fantasy Football Garage, I see, is in here. We did talk and go over your Loveland versus Warren. So go back and watch that. That's towards the beginning. Dave had some good insight about their ADPs and what you should be doing with them. Mike Robb, our chat lord here, he's always loyal guy here, says everyone loves players at this time. Who do you hate? Like, balls on the table. Who's going to be a bust this year?
Well, the quarterbacks are the easy ones. I think that you stay away from these rookie quarterbacks for sure. I think and I know, like we talked about Caleb Johnson, like he needs to go to a good situation for me. I just think that I like someone that can make people miss, and like that's why like I really like Trey Henderson. And I think with like Caleb Johnson, he just doesn't have a lot of wiggle. So he has to go to one of those like scenarios. And even then, it's kind of like, like you look at Jerome Ford, like he's got these huge plays.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at, you're like, all right, if I took away that 70-yard run, he had 9 carries for 11 yards. Like some of those numbers. And so receiver wise, I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody that I hate. I will say, as far as tight end, a guy that I'm not as high on is Fannin. If you look at PFF and you look at the grades, or you even just look at the stats, it's really hard to not love Harold Fannin. I mean, this guy just put up ridiculous numbers. Like his numbers were better than Tyler Warren. He was almost getting like 10 catches a game. But you don't see that many tight ends of that size. You do randomly get that, but I think, you might have more of a Brevin Jordan than you do a Sam Laporta. And Laporta is obviously bigger than he is, but Fannin is a guy that I think that people see the stats and the box score and like him. And I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah. So a couple guys here that I just want to ask you about, because and so I'll start with the first one, and he gets drafted, midway through the draft. Ollie Gordon. I mean, I've seen him again, float down the ranks a little bit. In your eyes, still a guy that can be productive in the NFL in the right situation. Are you not as high on him now? Let me see where he's going right now. Going ADP 167.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that you're not risking anything to take him, and he's a good player. He just unfortunately is in like a ridiculous draft.
Mm-hmm. Meg says Steve hates Bruni. How do you say it? Ao Manor.
I am Manor.
I Manor. I always fuck that up. I Manor. She said Meg says Steve, which is her brother, is calling him as too raw. Thoughts?
Well, watch the tape against Travis Hunter. I mean, he's probably the only person that makes Travis Hunter look stupid. How do you feel about Travis Hunter? Right on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis Hunter is a really interesting player. But yeah, Iamanor is, again, he's a big dude. Hopefully he's does well in the NFL. I'd like to see more as far as consistency, but like that tape against Travis Hunter is hard to ignore. I mean, he mosses Travis Hunter in the end zone, and it's like a just a bully kind of like catches the ball on his helmet kind of catch. And then there's a couple plays that game where he just looks so good. But we've seen some players have one or two good college games and didn't really pan out. So I don't love Imanor, but I think, that Travis Hunter tape is hard to ignore. And then Travis Hunter that's such an interesting player because he said at the combine, he was listed at corner. And I asked people, I'm like, well, the NFL listed him as corner. Doesn't that like tell you? And like a couple people, they were like, I wouldn't put too much stock into it. It's just kind of, the way it fell. He's not working out, so it wasn't really a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'll say this, him walking around, he doesn't look like some of these other players. I mean, he's not a big dude. Doesn't have like an athletic, like a real like muscular build or anything like that. Like I just don't know if he can keep up playing like that, and like you think about it from a career standpoint. I mean, do you really want your best corner going out and playing, 30 or 40 offensive snaps? Or like it could shorten his career if he does that. And like it's hard to invest a high best ball pick on someone that might only play 15, 20 snaps on offense.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how the NFL uses him. If a team's going to allow him to play both sides of the ball, at all, or if they're just going to strictly have him be one or the other. Definitely interesting. And Bruni and I brought this up before that, we're not taking him at cost, but he felt like 30 something picks in a draft, and I took him. I'll take a shot on him. He might surprise us and get more wide receiver reps than we think he potentially can.
I think it's more likely, like, if he does get wide receiver production, he's in a situation where a team is like, sporadically using him as maybe like a decoy, maybe like a fake bubble screen type thing. And then, 3 more tries later, they get him on a deep ball, and he may only finish the year with 20 catches and 5 touchdowns, but maybe it might get you through a week or two.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I get the comment about Brock Bowers. I mean, I took a picture of Brock Bowers. I might have sent it to you guys. And I mean, he looked like he was the IT guy helping set up. He didn't look the part, and obviously he's a monster. But I just my concern with Travis Hunter is not what he looked like in street clothes. My concern is just, is he going to be a corner or receiver? We're talking about fantasy football purposes. He's going to be a good player. He's probably one of the 2 or 3 blue chip players in this draft.
Oh, it looks like Joey Bosa was just released by the Chargers. Interesting.
Wow.
All right. Washington on the phone already.
That's kind of a long time coming.
Yeah, I guess so. So a couple guys that I've been drafting late in drafts, Dave, at wide receiver, Tez Johnson. Please don't tell me Tez Johnson's going to completely suck. He reminds me a lot of Tank Dell, and he also looks like he has that drive. I think we all remember that Tank Dell was staying after practices, getting in more work, and like that really pushed through. And Tez Johnson, when I watched what he did at the Senior Bowl, like he looked like he, was going to be pretty good. And then now again, looking at some people's boards, and I see that he got moved down a little bit. Is he a decent pick at the end of drafts? Again, it doesn't really cost anything. Do you think he can turn into some Tank Dell?
Yeah, he could easily, and a lot of people did the same exact thing. They dropped Tank Dell down the board. He's Calvin Austin was the guy at the Senior Bowl that nobody could cover. Tank Dell was the guy at the Senior Bowl nobody could cover. He's the guy nobody could cover at the Senior Bowl. All 3 of those guys are about 155 pounds soaking wet. Calvin Austin hasn't necessarily done as much, but I don't think this is like a Rondale Moore situation. Like, he's a good receiver. It's just, can he hold up? And all you need, if you're taking him in the 13th, 14th, 15th round of your best ball draft, all you need to do is for him to pop 2 weeks, and you got your money's worth. He was very annoyed. The first question at the combine was, because it's the media, and he comes up there and, all right, Tez, let's get it out of the way. How much do you weigh? How much? And then he was a little annoyed by it, but I mean, he knew it was coming, and he was just like, you can watch how I play, and if it didn't hurt me playing football at an extremely high level in college. He's like, it's not going to hurt me in the NFL. There's plenty of guys that are around my size that are doing well. A guy that I like that's around that size that people, maybe don't talk about as much is Jalen Noel, Iowa State kid. He's a guy that, he's a little bit more compact, has a little bit more weight to him. Catch and run specialist, really fast, really, the term everyone likes, the twitched up. But he is like a spark plug. Like, he's just really quick, really fun player, Jalen Noel.
Noted.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm writing that one down now. That'll be a target at the end of the draft for me too. But another guy, and this is a guy I actually saw move up some boards, is Tay Felton. I've taken some of him really late in drafts. He's actually moved up the board a little bit on Underdog as well. So, where do you feel like Tay Felton can fit into the NFL?
Yeah, Felton was cool. Like, he was a really fun guy at the combine, and I got to ask him about RJ Harvey, who is another RJ Harvey's another guy to look for. I asked RJ Harvey, is he going to try out for quarterback? He threw a dime at the bowl game on a double pass to Tay Felton. Felton's another guy. I mean, again, like that day 2 group is going to be like, I'm going to say, like, take a shotgun approach. You could go and get Tay Felton or Jaden Higgins, and one of them is going to hit. I just, it's the bust rate's a little higher on those guys, but he tracks the ball really well. He's got good deep ball speed. He talked about playing against Dante Banks and playing against a first round corner. He's got really good speed, and I think that is going to probably drive his price up. He's going to get drafted a little higher because he's got good speed and, like I said, good deep ball tracking.
Nice. Bruni, I'm hogging all the questions. Do you got any?
No, I mean, I think I dipped it the Genty question there.
Yeah, and the last guy would be Arian Smith. Again, like, NFL loves speed, and we've seen it in the NFL. Like, we've seen speed guys get overdrafted. Arian Smith is another guy.
Okay. If you got any more guys you want to go over, feel free. If not, if you want to just talk a little bit about the combine experience as a total.
Yeah, I mean, I'll finish with tight ends. It's a good tight end class. You might get a few guys, especially good landing spots. Elijah Rojo, Mason Taylor, Terrence Ferguson really helped himself out at Oregon. He had a really good combine. So yeah, the experience is really cool. I mean, the way it works is you have Radio Row on one side of the curtain, and you have the TV, set up on the other side of the curtain, and then they have the guys, and it's wrapped around, and they have all the podiums, and you get 20 minutes, and you get like 8 players or 10 players, and then you just go around and ask questions. It's cool to see them all, and all the different personalities. Some are, a little bit more charismatic than others. Like I'll never forget like Ty J Spears, and I'm like, that guy's like just such a cool dude. And so it is good to see that, but I really like seeing people out of pads and seeing how they move, like the running back specifically. I want to see how they move in the receiver drills. Like, you can see who, like, they talk about natural hands, but like you can see who's been doing this for a while and who's not. And so you get some of these, especially the smaller school guys that have a lot of rushing production, but not a lot of receiving production. They got some catching up to do. And so, like, that's why I liked some of these, like RJ Harvey and Dylan Sampson, because when they're running these, whether it's a whip route or a wheel route or whatever, they look good. And they're snapping off, whether it's the route, but their hands, they're running through the catch. When you talk about running through the catch, they're not jumping in the air to catch the ball. Like, they trust their hands, and they're like not losing any speed, just catching the ball and running through, through the catch. And those are the kind of guys that do a lot of damage, when you talk about yak. So, and that's, like I said, that's what I liked about the running backs. And I always like that part of it. Devin Neal is another guy to watch. Ollie Gordon, he's not necessarily has a lot of production in the passing game, and he didn't really stand out. I think Caleb Johnson didn't really stand out, and those are some things there. But then, like I said, you look at Trey Henderson, looks so smooth. Samson looks so smooth. Like, they almost got faster when they were like about to snatch the ball out of the air. So
I like to hear the Henderson thing, because I've seen some people, potentially mock him to Washington. So that would be that'd be interesting. What about Cam Scatterbo? Meg, big Cam guy. And I know a lot of people are. He's going, let's see, where's Cam going right now? He is going currently running back 37, ADP 118. What are your thoughts on Cam?
Yeah, he's a really fun player. He didn't work out. So like he did go to the media. So he did talk to everybody, and he's just, I mean, there's no way that an NFL team is not going to scoop him up. Just listen to him talk ball. and also seeing how he plays, like he's gonna find a role on a team. We'll see. I mean, again, you look at the numbers, and you could say Kyron Williams isn't going to make an NFL roster, and Kyron Williams is one of the top backs in the league. He's that kind of a player. He's not going to blow you away as far as his metrics and stuff like that. But he's just, and you look at a team like they're trying to have an attitude, like you're trying to build an attitude there. Like I could see him going to the Lions, and I know that that's not necessarily a huge fantasy landing spot.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's definitely a bite your kneecaps kind of a guy.
Yeah, I love it. Stephen WC23 just asked about the kid from Arkansas, Tessa.
Yeah, Tesla. He had like Puka Nacua vibes with the hair, a little skinnier. I don't really know much about him, I'll be honest. Like he made some nice catches. We didn't have anybody like Joe Milton throwing the ball to the 10-yard line on the But like when the quarterbacks get to open it up and rip it down the field, you do get to see, how the guys track the ball and like how they do that. And it's tough for them because they're quarterbacks they've never worked with before. And he made some really nice catches, like especially just, he'll be an interesting player.
Nice. Bruni, anything else?
No, you're covering all the bases here. I don't know what rookies you left.
The last guy I'll talk about the risers is Tootin. You're probably going to see him as a best ball riser. I mean, he
fastest 40 for RBs, right?
Yeah.
He
not only the fastest 40, but like all of the burst numbers, like he's not the size of Isaac Guerrero, but like you look at all of the burst numbers, which are like you look at the vertical jump and the 10 split and everything was like check. This he's a freak athlete. We'll see if that translates. But he's someone that obviously people are talking about.
Do you have a comp, NFL comp for him?
Not off the fly. Honestly, he's one of those guys that he probably was a little bit off the radar. And now he's highly on the radar, and that's a little scary because you don't want to overreact to the combine, but you got to go and check it out. Like, all right, what's up with this guy? Because like Guerrero, people weren't really talking about Guerrero until after, and then he ended up, when he got his shot, he was pretty decent. So Tutin's not the same size. I'm trying to look at the size, how big he is. He's not a big dude.
Yeah, he's currently going ADP 165. He's RB 50 off the board. I drafted him. Oh yeah, here. So I drafted him. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and he was ADP 234. He is now 165. He has jumped massively.
Well, and and I misspoke. He's got a decent size. And like not every running backs are no longer 225, 230 pounds. That's more the rarity. You're seeing backs that are under 200 pounds being fantasy relevant. He came in at 5'11", 209. And to run that fast, he's definitely someone that is interesting player. You look at his production, 15 touchdowns last year on the ground, 1,100 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving.
I like it.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, hopefully you get maybe a less than desirable landing spot, and you get a little dip in ADP. You get an injury, he's a starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like it's just such a stacked class. Like half these guys would have been, probably top 7, top 8 in last year's class, and they're just they're not. It's not a good time.
Should be interesting.
Such a good class.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else that you want to hit on?
I think we talked about 50 of them, so we're good.
Yeah. No. I mean, we appreciate you coming on and talking about that. Before you go, though, you want to tell people where they can follow you on all the socials, any articles, anything like that?
Yeah, at Dynasty Dorks. Just hit me up. We got some mock drafts and stuff going on. Some rookie mock drafts, some startup mock drafts, and some rookie profiles. And you get me on Twitter and TikTok.
Nice. Dave, as always, man, it's a pleasure having you on. I know Bruni said he wants to try to get you on another show to do some strategy talk about some of these rookies in the drafting order. So I'm sure we will be seeing your lovely face once again.
All right. See you guys soon. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you, sir.
Bye, guys.
See you.
All right, Brundog. As you say, it's been a long one and a good one. And now it is time to get into the draft. You want to pull up the old underdog one and hop us in one here, and then I'll join to make sure that we can get in.
Yep, pull it up here.
Dave, wealth of knowledge. It's cool that he goes to the combine. It's nice to have somebody who had boots on the ground over there and be able to talk about some of these guys. I did want to go back here. So Gabe P said, anyone know why B-Rob is so cheap? So remind me, I want to get into that when we get into the draft and go down towards the old B-Rob there.
Sounds good.
All right. Hold on. Un momento. Let me get into the Underdog app here. If anybody wants to join us, big board draft, as always, the $10 contest. NFL, big board. All right, Bruni, whenever you are ready, big dog.
You want me to peek my head in? What you're so off the cuff tonight?
Oh yeah, man. Let's mix it up.
All right. Here we go, chat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What could go wrong? 7 waiting for 6. 5. We're good.
I'm in.
We are good. Okay. Not bad. Well done, everyone. All right. 4 left to get our pick here in just a moment. Let's be sure to what's that?
Oh no, I was saying index of suspicion, which has just been electric in the chat, by the way. Appreciate that. It says B-Rob's going to have a backfield help, a great running back, and potentially a wide back. Yeah, I think that they are going to add somebody. Yeah, I assume it's probably going to be through the draft as well. Obviously, they still have Eckler on a deal too. So I think we are going to see somebody in there. Now, is he going to overtake B-Rob at some point? Maybe, potentially. And I think that's probably why he's being drafted where he's drafted right now. But I say like right out of the gate, I think how they have it set right now is how we're going to go into the season. I don't think they draft anybody that takes over, though. If they did get Henderson, that could potentially flip it. But I think B-Rob's the guy, right out of the gate.
I talked a little bit about it last week. Right now, just bringing in Debo, I would assume that he gets some type of rushing attempts, whether it be sweeps, actual carries. So kind of adding him to the rushing attack when already having Brian Robinson, Eckler, and Daniels, who has upside to run. I mentioned, his early passing acumen much better than like a guy like Lamar Jackson, right? So he's going to pass the ball a lot, but also use his legs. They'll have some design run plays for Jaden Daniels, but he also can steal some red zone touchdowns and overall rushing upside.
Yep. We do still have one more to start. If anybody is teeter-tottering on wanting to join,
let's get in there. Let's go. Let's fill it up. And let's also smash the like button. Follow the FanSpeak Network. We are getting ever so closer to our 500 subs goal as we march on to 1,000 subscribers. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share with friends. We have the draft loaded here. We've got some friendly names and faces. We've got Vaporware in the 101. The TD King at pick 1-3. I am at 1-5. LOL Simo, LO Simo. I don't know that person. Losimo, whatever. Been in here before. They're back. Candyman, as you aforementioned.
Don't forget about Green Bean. Green Bean's. I'm assuming probably sitting in the chat somewhere. He's been in with us.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Green Bean. That name, it didn't hum back to me there. Anybody else that you know here?
No, and you said Candyman, so no, I think that's it. If anybody is in the chat and is also in the draft, let us know. At the end, we will do a quick little recap of your team.
Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and get this screen pulled up instead.
He said big spenders. I'm still working on max fill of the little board. Hey, man, it's all right to be a baller on a budget. So does that mean, does that mean that you don't do a lot of BBMs either? Or are you focusing on the $3 and $5 drafts at that point? All right, so we got Chase and Barkley off. I'm going to take Bijan.
Okay.
Bijan, baby.
Bijan, he says. Okay. RNDRN.
Oh, Bruni, look at that. Little old Gibbs to you.
I've already taken Gibbs. I don't want to take Nico Collins though. That's for sure.
Oh, you just take players once? Is that how we do this?
Well, when you only do like 20 or 30 of these, yeah, we'll go Gibbs. I have also one share of Puka and CD.
Oh, I see. You were one of those guys that got old peer pressured into things. Huh? Okay, don't stick by your guns. I understand.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, just riding with the ADP there a little bit.
Understand.
See what type of value can fall to me at receiver in round 2. I'm sure that all of you will just start pissing yellow.
We'll see how many of these guys that Dave had talked about, go a little bit before their ADP, especially some of the later guys he was referring to. So Gibbs, Nico, Lamb, we're just fucking right on cue here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see a lot of volatility here in the early rounds. If anything,
I did just check.
See Gibbs get pushed a little bit because people love receivers.
That's true. We got 35 more to 500 subs. And again, at that point, we will be giving away $500 to one of you guys who are in the chat and subscribed to the network. So, definitely excited to have that stream. Love giving away money, and as well, giving away the cocktail playbook, the last one that we have, again, written by Zach Berger, aka FF Chalupa Batman, over here on the streets. Got the old book here for everybody, cocktail playbook. If you don't know what it is, he did create a cocktail for each NFL team. Tells you how to make it. It's fantastic. I've rolled through it a bunch of times, made some of the cocktails. It's pretty awesome. So we will be giving that away as well, and potentially more. Stay tuned, but help us get to 500 subs so we can do the stream.
All right, so we got double tap RB, Genty, and CMC at the end of round 1, start of round 2.
Index said Puka with the late round Stafford has been comforting, but trying to stick to rushing QBs on my builds. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Gotta love the hidden points. Green Bean, I just finished the draft with my first CD share at the 10 spot.
Nice. That's very nice. Very nice. Love that fall.
CD Lamb at 10 is amazing. I looked at that first. I couldn't tell what the CD was. It looked like a fan. I was like, fan Lamb? CD. Got it. 10-4. My eyes, as I get older, the eyes are going.
I get it.
Yeah, you're a year older than me? Are you 35 now?
Turning, what is it? 36 in 11 days.
Oh,
yeah.
Big one. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll be 35 this year. So, yep, you're one ahead of me there.
I gotcha. Bio 1. Thinking I might double tap running back here.
Brock Bowers, man, just always just going so high.
A lot of volume there. A lot of volume. Perceived upgrade at quarterback. A lot of talk around Aaron Rodgers past couple of days going there. Could be interesting. If Devontae Adams followed him back to the Raiders, that would not be great for Brock Bowers. You would definitely get a discount on his ADP if that were to happen.
Yes. Yes and yes to both those. You know what? Let's man, I haven't really taken a lot of like Josh Jacobs yet. I'm gonna do it. I'll double tap RBs here. IT levels for a 36-year-old.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I still get around. I get by.
It's like, careful how you putting that out that you get around, huh?
T levels off the charts, my man. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't, if you just want another stream to go draft with somebody, go over to Fantasy Football Garage. During last season, I joined him a bunch of times. He will stream, so go over to YouTube, Fantasy Football Garage. It's AKA Candyman. Yeah, I mean, I like that he always puts like the little like nice elevator music in the background too. It's kind of soothing as you go through the draft. I unexpectedly liked it. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know, like I kind of like listening to what he's saying, but then after I drafted more, it's kind of it's nice, just a little lulling music to your draft.
It's actually very good for the algorithm. He's tapping into something there, so that's definitely going to be boosting his views, getting the word out there. So he's hacking into something there.
Bernie, am I crazy for wanting to go JSN over Wilson?
No, I mean, I like JSN here. I'll take JSN if you don't. So, I mean, I'm good with him. Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore starting out as my first receiver. I feel pretty happy with any of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. That's I was looking. I'm like, am I crazy for that?
Yeah, I was trying to actually steer you off that, but it's all right. It's okay. The reverse.
Oh, look at that.
Network.
Fantasy said he'll be back streaming soon. Got a new baby coming next week.
Oh, dude, congratulations.
Congrats. Yeah,
Congrats.
man.
That's awesome. My daughter's going to be 20 months in 2 days. So, yeah, chugging right along.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Great time.
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest just turned 6 yesterday. 6 and a all but 2-year-old as well. So it's pretty crazy, man. Yeah, that's it's awesome. And enjoy all that time, because if you said another one or you said a new baby, I don't know if that means you already have one, but if you don't, the time flies by so quickly.
New baby.
Jason, knowing they're clearing house should move him up. Yeah, I figured I might as well grab that before we see him creep into the into the second round.
Are you into some Jake Bobo?
I did see you tweet that. Yeah, man. I mean, I think Bobo's stock just rose a little bit there. I mean, I assume that they're not just going to go in with JSN and Bobo, but I mean, hey,
they were giving him like rushing attempts in the red zone. It was ridiculous.
Yep. So we got the first QB off the board, Josh Allen coming in here. I was really hoping, I didn't say this, but I really was hoping McBride would fall back, but old fucking Vaporware there. Vaporware, are you in the chat? Don't lie to us. He took McBride. I was really hoping McBride would fall back. That is who I wanted.
Yeah, not really pot committed to most folks here. I've got 3 shares of Kyron at this ADP. 1 of Lamar, 2 of Worthy, no Cook, no Daniels yet, no JMO yet. Definitely going receiver. I don't know if I go Tet here. Probably wait a little bit later for some rookie receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of sounded like Dave said he probably wouldn't take Tet around some of those guys there. So
I just don't have any yet. But if I was looking at him or JMO, I'd probably take JMO still.
Yes. Yeah.
But I could talk myself into taking him over Rashee Rice still. I mean, Rashee Rice, still has to get healthy. He's still could be missing games. I think he should be at more of a discount. I don't think he'll get it, but I think he should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I again, like some of those guys like Tet, like I'd like to see where he goes before I start to, declare him somebody I'll draft over, Smith and JMO.
Yeah.
But if he goes to the right landing spot, I mean, I could see it, just not right now.
I'd be okay taking him over like Olave and Waddle, though. I mean, those guys already have their injury concerns. Especially Olave. I mean, like how many concussions has he had now? I mean, he's creeping into like Tua territory.
Yeah.
And Waddle when healthy, I would definitely want him over Tet, but
yeah. I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. I agree with you on the Olave though. The Waddle with maybe Tyreek not going to be there, and we still don't know where Tet goes. Like I would probably still take Waddle over him, but
if Tyreek's not there, they're gonna have a correction there, an overcorrection for his absence. It couldn't just be like Jalen Waddle, Achane, and Jonnu. I don't think that would be the case.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like Amari Cooper at a bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. Index makes a good point. He said wanted Kelsey to retire so Mahomes could start ripping it downfield more. Yeah, that would be nice to get the old Mahomes back where they actually did fucking
let's see what they do in the draft. I mean, there's a lot of receivers here. I mean, they could get 2 pretty decent receivers in this draft that could really help turn things around.
Yeah, I mean, and Worthy's guy that they did. I mean, they did in the Super Bowl. I mean, albeit it was over, but he did chuck it downfield to him. So like they have a guy that can go do it now. They just aren't doing it anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's what they do next year, right? They finally lost the Super Bowl. Maybe now Andy Reid's like, you know what? Bringing the old playbook back. We're ripping it downfield again.
We're ripping it. No, I mean, they have to. I mean, they need that.
3 quarterbacks in a row.
They weren't messing around. Candyman, he put a stop to it right there. These Russian QBs go no further.
Damn. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm thinking JMO here.
Yeah, this is a nice spot for wide receiver.
I have the most exposure to Joe Mixon in this range so far.
Okay.
So still like him a lot with the Texans. He's just a
Yeah.
focal point of the offense down the stretch. I mean, they lost Tank, they lost Diggs to injury. Diggs could be back, but Mixon was just he was old faithful. I mean, he was amazing. The volume was there. So hopefully he can avoid some draft competition. I don't think they do anything with free agency. I mean, he's got a pretty hefty contract, but I could see them coming in and someone to complement him.
Yeah. Bruni, pull up the old BBO so people can see it real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, making me do stuff.
Sorry. Well, you got a couple picks till your pick, so I figured it's a good time to shout out Best Ball Overlay. Again, bestballoverlay.com. If you guys haven't already used it, you should really go in and try it. Use our code FANSPEAK for $10 off per month. So you can see there on the screen, it shows you your exposure to them. It will also give you like in the Battle Royale, it'll give you weather as well for the game. So when Battle Royales come back, that's a really nice feature to have, is if it's in a dome, if it's outside, what the weather looks like. But yeah, I mean, during these drafts, all off season, you want to be able to see your exposure to them. So it's really nice to see. And Bruni, is that dollar amounts too?
Yeah, that's percentage and dollar amounts. And we're also going to have, once the schedule drops, you'll have week 15, 16, 17 schedules available on here. And you'll also have notations of those games that are played in domes. So there's a lot more stuff to come. This is really early just because we're sickos, we're degenerates. We're here, in March doing fantasy football drafts, best ball drafts. So there's more perks and features that are going to be available to you as we progress through the off season as well.
Yeah, super nice thing. So again, go over to bestballoverlay.com, sign up, use our code FANSPEAK for $10 off a month. It's a really nice tool just to go try out. We obviously both have it, so does truly help if you are sickos like us and are going to be doing a bunch of drafts. Want to make sure that your exposures look right on these players. So definitely head over and get that signed up.
Taking Cortland Sutton, as long as it actually lets me do it.
And Dex says, please God, not another Sky Moore or MVS. He says discipline to not take an early QB is respectable. Yes, you don't need to do it. We've done it, but
yeah, don't share that on the fantasy football Reddit. They'll have you by your head. That's for certain. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved value QB. It's about picking the right guy. Geno, when he was healthy, was an amazing pick. Baker obviously was an amazing pick. Really landing those late round guys or even mid round guys that have that top 5 potential. It's all about bringing those home. Those other picks can be sexy, but you can also lose out on guys like Jalen Hurts was actually hurt. He was missing some time in the regular season. We don't expect that. We don't rely on that to be the case when we're drafting anybody. But at the end of the day, that rushing upside does still come, with some, cautionary ADP. You're paying for a guy that has massive upside, but also a little bit more upside to get hurt as well.
Yeah. Index says Kittle's thoughts worth chasing with Debo or without Debo, or rather save the bullets for Kraft Kincaid. Kittle's up the board for me a little bit with Debo out. I think that he can see some more targets. So yeah, I like still getting Kittle where he's going.
He fell 7 picks just now. So, that's a very good value for him. And he's tight end. What is his tight end ranking?
What is he?
Tight end 3. He's going in end of round 5 as a value. I don't hate that.
No, I like that actually. I'd rather have Kittle than Kraft or Kincaid or the the combo of them both. And again, with Kittle, do great and late, right? Grab that and then grab 2 towards the end of the draft to fill in for when he's out on bye week or if he gets injured. Yep. But yeah, I'm totally fine just putting the balls on the table for Kittle.
Balls on the table for Kittle.
Kittle and bits, baby. Agreed. I took Daniels late last year, hoping Penix is the guy late with some pop. Yeah, he could be. I'm still a little skeptical on Penix. But he could be. And again, where you're getting him, it doesn't really hurt to go take him now.
Yeah. Through this next section, I don't really have an overwhelming amount of anybody. 1 share of Kamara, Judy, Godwin, Laporta, 2, technically 3, because I did what do you call it?
The little board?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So I have 3 shares of James Conner, and then 1 of Burden, 3 of Ridley. Gotta get my Calvin Ridley.
He's one of us, D-Gen, just like us.
One of us. Yeah, it's hard to give up his upside. He just continues to show it. I mean, I've always loved him. I think he did take a step back after, the suspension and the time away, but you look at how he can be used as a deep threat. And right now you're getting a discounted ADP because of the fact there's just no quarterback certainty yet. The Titans are, despite like the rumblings of the last few days, are odds favorites to land Aaron Rodgers right now. If you go to a sports book, to lay some money, they're paying the closest to even money. But I don't know. That could still be up in the air. We could get a journeyman, a bridge QB there, and a rookie. Tough to say what's going to happen there.
Yeah. Index says I'm off Godwin this year. Lower leg injury is just hard to trust. I don't really think that the one that he sustained is going to be something that truly bothers him. I mean, I understand like what he's saying, and I agree, but with the dislocated ankle like that and whatnot, the injury that he had, and now, albeit it was a little bit more gruesome than some of them that we see, but I don't think it like really, really hurts him. Maybe slows him up a little bit, but depending on.
They're saying he's going to be back week 1. I just feel that given that injury, I agree with Index. It's harder to trust because it's the foot. And 2, like, I just don't think that they'll need him to do, they won't need him to play all the snaps right away. I think that they will ease him back in. You have McMillan there, who played very well down the stretch of last year. Without him, his progression forward, the offense in general, maybe being a little bit more conservative. You're still going to have Irving and Rachaad White. Rachaad White can be called upon in the passing game as well. So I just don't think that we're going to get really anywhere close to the production we were getting before he was hurt right away. It might be something that we see down the stretch. I'm not really concerned about his age, but I am concerned about that specific injury, nagging him through the season and potentially being like a re-injury opportunity.
Yeah.
I've started 0-2-3-1. Andrew is 1-2-3-0. I've got the Detroit stack so far with Gibbs, J-Mo, and Laporta.
Man, look at you. I did take Mahomes and Rice. That's my first share of the respected Chiefs there.
Okay.
So I figured, might as well.
What's your thoughts here with Brandon Ayuk or Ricky Pearsall? I've already taken a bunch of Brandon Ayuk before his ADP was actually inflated. He was much lower than wide receiver 41 as he just goes to X Sweeper X. What's your thoughts on him versus like Ricky Pearsall ADP? Obviously, Pearsall perfectly fine. He's healthy. But now with Debo leaving, I mean, if Ayuk is still there, I mean, there's a ton of vacated touches to go around for everybody. Pearsall, Ayuk, obviously CMC if he's back and he's 100% healthy. A lot of potential upside for these guys, but I'm also seeing Ayuk potentially being shopped as well. How are you kind of handling that ADP battle as they're literally like wide receiver 41 and 42 right now?
You're saying Pearsall and Ayuk?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's interesting because we saw flashes of Pearsall last year. It's not like he was around the entire time. I think he's definitely interesting. And it's not a bad ADP for him, especially with Debo now out the door. Obviously, I think we still know that Kittle is going to command a bunch of targets. They're probably going to add somebody in there. So I think it's a fine ADP for him. Ayuk's interesting though, because depending on where he goes, coming back off of the injury, he could fly up the board a little bit here in a right situation. Or I think, if he does go somewhere that he's not going to, potentially be the one, I could see him being, lower down the board. So I'm going to actually wait on Ayuk a little bit until we get some more information. But I did see that same thing. The Niners pretty much said that they are willing to shop anybody at this point because of what their cap looks like. So I'm going to stay off Ayuk right now. I think it's fine time to take Pearsall though, with potential of Ayuk, getting out the door.
Yeah, I think Pearsall gets a lot more expensive once that does happen. But I'm willing to kind of split hairs. I'll take some Pearsall here and there. I did just take more McMillan though, because I'm really into Jalen McMillan this year. Can't get away from it.
It'd be really beneficial if Godwin leaves.
Still on the table as well. He could be on another team. I think he comes back. That's what my gut tells me. but anything's on the table right now. Good landing spot. Anywhere that you would like him to go? I've seen him rumored to the Patriots. I don't know if I love that.
Godwin?
Yeah.
I mean, there was small
super hungry at receiver. Super hungry.
There was a small talk about him going to Washington. I don't know with Debo now there if that really makes sense anymore.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, I think Godwin, again, if Godwin would go to Seattle now, I think that would be interesting. I think that would be an okay landing spot for him. Dude, if they could get him to go to Buffalo, that would be awesome. Would love him there. Actually, you know what? Now with Tank Dell out, if they could go to the Texans, I think that would be a good spot for him as well. Trying to think if there's any others that like off the top of my head. Packers maybe could be interesting depending on what they do at wide receiver.
I don't love that. It would be nice to see what that team looks like with the wide receiver one, but even like a guy like Godwin, I think would just get middled there.
Yeah, index about New England. No, God, I would hate that.
No, I don't love that either. But that's what I've been seeing.
Yeah,
and if he knows more about his foot than we do, he might just be looking for a bag.
That's true. And maybe that tells us something. If he takes something that like doesn't really make sense to us, like where he thinks he can like go win a Super Bowl somewhere, then maybe that maybe we stay off a little bit because maybe you're right. Maybe he's just going there to grab a nice little stack of cash.
This guy took Jared Goff well ahead of ADP. Snipe me, damn. We've already done the Bo Nix Sutton stack, so let's make sure that we get Caleb and DJ. We'll take Caleb ahead of ADP.
Wide receiver thinning out slightly here.
It is. I still have 3 shares of Cooper Kupp. Just like Harvey Dent, I believe in Cooper Kupp. I believe. Might be a sick thing, but as long as he comes back healthy, I think he's going to be fine, especially if he can land on his feet in a pass-friendly offense. This is an insanely discounted ADP. The injuries have been there, but at this price, it's just hard for me to say no.
All right, I'm taking Jaylen Warren.
That's your boy.
I do like Warren this year. Najee, please leave.
Najee, please. I think he's going to leave. Why? I don't see the reason for the Steelers to really have to offer him a lot. He's played very well for them and put up good production. But I think the stats probably look better than what, the impact that he made on the field, like wins and losses. I don't know if that favors him as much.
Yeah.
Thinking about running back here. I like ETN still. We've talked about that. I like Charbonnet. Najee is interesting with him being a free agent.
What the dude takes Travis Kelce? Why? What are you doing?
He just lay off the non-badges, you bullies.
Golly, you don't even have a stack. Ugh.
He's got a friendship stack with Isaiah Pacheco.
Brutal.
He's all about the friendship. You're not about friendship.
No, I'm not. Let's go.
This guy's got Saquon, Mixon,
take a little Zach
Pacheco,
Charbonnet,
Tyreek Hill, Terry. Oh, screen bouncing back and forth. Son of a. Let's go more Travis Etienne. Again, still a believer in Etienne. RB3 to RB36 is pretty embarrassing. It's pretty bad. But you know what? I went from 25% advance rate to like 18. So, I'm no spring chicken. I got high T levels apparently, but no spring chicken.
Index says Mondre? Question mark?
Ramondre?
Yeah. We talked about him. I like him better than Travis Etienne, but I know you don't.
Yeah, I don't. No, I don't.
And I've been hammering Chubb late, hoping he ends up in Pitt. IT.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like Nick Chubb is kind of like an Arthur Smith dude, no? Like who better to go get you 3 yards of carry?
That's true. That is true.
Or I mean, I could see it. I could see that. I also know that Ben Johnson's been staring hard at Najee and at Nick Chubb. It sounds like DeAndre Swift is going to be out the door.
Yeah, I could have told you that last year. DeAndre Swift, not very great.
Well, him and Ben Johnson, apparently, it's not that they don't have a good history, but Ben Johnson was also the guy that shipped him out of Detroit. So I think that already coming in, that doesn't make sense. But we talked about this before. I mean, Swift had a decent season based on volume. He was just a guy that got a lot of touches on a not so great offense, and he had more fantasy points and a larger role than he did with the Eagles. Like, it's still a fine pick. It's just that this year, we have a lot more uncertainty, and he probably regresses quite a bit. I still think he's a good pick last year, but this year, not sexy, not sexy.
Yeah, no, I'll be off the Swift train once again. Very, very, very big fade for me.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is just a billion touches, and you're fine. It's like Index was saying in the chat. Adrian Peterson just loved to run into the tackles again and again and again, and then bust off an 80 to the house. Like, it's just what he would do. Lots of guys are like that. And if your offensive line is shit,
I mean, if you,
good, dude, what a great 24 hours for the Bears. Oh my God.
That was a nice signing.
I love the Jonah Jackson one just because of, like, I really wanted Jonah Jackson on the Bears before he went to the Rams. And I'm like, I feel like I'm, getting kind of like sloppy seconds to a degree, but I'm still into it. Like, all right, cool, bring it on. At least we're getting laid. Whatever. Screw it.
Yeah.
Take what you can get, like it's. Yeah. And Joe Thuney, I mean, he's an first team all pro. I mean, he was ranked awesome. like 12th for PFF on offensive linemen. Like that's amazing, dude. That's whew. And for so cheap, dude, come on. Like, that was amazing. We already have a whole like slew of picks, so it's not like we're hurting.
Trying to figure out what to do here. There's a couple of guys I like. How do I want to structure this team?
Yeah, I'm TikToking here. I wanted to take a receiver, but I don't love him. I'm going to take more Dak because I think he's a good value.
Oh man, Njoku, he just keeps falling. I'll take the shot here.
Yeah, no, Njoku's solid. Like, I would still take him over Tyler Warren before a landing spot. You get a little bit more confidence in, his role in an offense. I think you can easily talk yourself into it, taking him over Njoku. But yeah, no landing spot, not knowing anything. Kind of the feedback that we're getting from, like the dynasty community, like Dave and other rookie scouts, Steve as well. Like, there's just a ton of back end value in this draft with these young guys.
Mm-hmm. Index says he starts looking at Dobbs around here. I just don't know what the Packers are going to do with their wide receivers. Like, I think that's an unknown that I'd like to know.
He has touchdown upside, but like, I think like Christian Kirk here is still a good pick because now they are really talking about releasing him. He could go to a greener pasture and, kind of reactivate himself. I mean, I know he was hurt last year, but still, I think that opens up possibilities of him having, similar production that we've wanted in the past from him.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, do I make the Meg pick?
It's not Isaiah Bond, if that's what you mean.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it for Meg.
Oh, the
taking Cam. Yep.
Yeah, I almost took him on my last pick. I mean, Dave brought up so many interesting names, and I'm really kind of looking to hone in on here on pick 15 or round 15 or later. So I'm kind of just like holding still. I don't think I have any rookies yet. I do not, but we're definitely going to get some rookie receivers because we're hoping that some go to Dallas and fill out this stack for me. Let's see.
I'm currently sitting at 1-5-4-1.
2, 3, 4, 1. Screw it. Let's throw Trey Harris in there.
Oh, you forget about Trey. Nowadays, everybody want to talk. So they got something to say. No, Eminem. All right, that's cool. I digress.
That's good. Digress. Who sings that? You said
That's Eminem and
No,
Dr.
let's
Dre.
keep it that way. Let's keep it that way.
Oh wow, Jesus! I fell for it. God
Yeah,
Almighty.
yeah. Somebody hasn't, ridden in a truck with their dad in a while.
Well, my dad's dead, so
That's a terrible comeback.
he is. It's kind of hard to ride in a truck with him.
It's still unoriginal, Andrew.
What's
have
the
better.
difference between me and you? It's the whitest thing I've ever heard. Congratulations. Oh shit.
All right, where are we at here?
A ton of QBs last 3 rounds.
Yeah. Love that mid-round value. I've got Caleb, Dak, Gibbs, Taylor, Etienne, DJ Moore, J-Mo, Sutton, McMillan, Trey Harris, Sam Laporta.
See, index knows.
Yes, I know. I know the song. I just didn't sing along with
He's like spelling it out for you. Like, brother, have you never listened to Eminem? The LP? Come on. Oh, we're in that spot where I really like running backs and not wide receivers, and I have 5 running backs now, so not ideal here situation for me. Should have taken some of those wide receivers up top, but I do like the running backs I have. I think we're going to see a nice run on running backs here in the next 2 rounds.
Wondering if one of these receivers is going to fall to me or not.
Bernie, how many years of your life did you lose on the keg and eggs after your birthday?
What?
Kegs and eggs because St. Patrick's Day?
I've never gone to kegs and eggs.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Live once in a while.
Live life. Yes, you're right.
Jesus. Go get some kegs and eggs, brother. Dude, we're probably going to take our kids to go get some kegs and eggs, dude. Come on, man.
You take your kids.
He said he also has a birthday in 11 days. Small world.
Interesting. 316. Let's ride. Let's fly.
Oh. Austin 316?
Some might say. I don't, but some do.
But some do. You know what? Fuck it. I'm taking a shot on Christian Kirk.
There you go.
Hopefully he goes somewhere that doesn't suck.
I think pick 142 is a damn good deal, my friend.
It's like, give me a hell yeah. No? Wish I had 2 beers right now. Just fucking put them down.
Wish I had 2 beers and I was alone in the shower.
Shower beers. Definitely underrated.
Cheers to fucking shower beers. To be young. What do we want to do here? I think I know what I'm going to do with my pick. You're pretty balanced here. 1-5-5-1.
Taking Jake Ferguson.
Dick.
I need another tight end, big guy.
Okay. It's the last of my stacks. It's okay.
Antwall wants to know who's replacing Kirk on the Jags. Insert rookie?
Yeah, I was going to say probably a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, unless they go get Godwin. Interesting as well. After the 13th round, all bets are off the table. Yeah, it's starting to become that way. But yeah, I mean, Kirk, Godwin maybe. Maybe they go get Tyler Lockett now. I think it's going to be a rookie though, if I had to take a guess. Again, deep class. Probably Thomas Jr. gets 185 targets. That's probably not far off, to be honest.
Yeah, people are kind of talking about him being like the wide receiver 1, like making a Justin Jefferson level ascension. That would be wow. That would be crazy.
Yeah. Famous Football Garage says, does Gabe Davis have a comeback year? I find it hard to believe, personally. Maybe some weeks potentially, but I don't know, Bruni.
not worth investing in right now. I mean, it could be possible. He's owed some money. Restrepo, I really like. Ant, I like him a lot. Didn't go to the combine, I believe. I think he's just doing a pro day, so that should be interesting.
T Fraud ain't that guy. I don't know. I don't mind T-Law personally, but
It helps when you have an elite receiver, right?
yeah, maybe it's just because I liked Remember the Titans so much. Reminds me of Sunshine.
So some white dude with blonde hair,
flowing blonde hair. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Someone took Tootin well ahead of ADP. It looks like. Bastard.
Yeah, dude. Again, I can't believe I got him at 200. What I say, 34.
He just went at pick 151, and his ADP is 166.
See, should have been listening to the show, people, 2 weeks ago. Talked up Tootin. Pretty sure you said something about darn. Darn Tootin. That joke probably made an appearance.
Yeah, I know it did.
He said, I know it did.
Oh, it did. Jaden Higgins. Wow. Okay. Jaden Higgins pick 156 versus ADP 174. A little out of hand.
So slightly early.
Slightly early, he says. Slightly early.
He's just going rookies now. He's just taking the rookies.
Yep. Cam Ward, Higgins, Io Manor. When they say it Io Manor instead of Io Manor, it sounds like someone that's like competing on Jeopardy. Io Manor. Damn.
That's funny.
Damn. I'm looking at 2461.
I got 1552.
Do I want to pull up a tight end? I think I'm gonna pull up a tight end. I swear, if Loselmo or Losimo doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't have to, Bruni. It doesn't have to.
It doesn't. So I'm just saying it doesn't. All right. These next two guys better not take Cole Kmet. I'm going to be upset. Give me my Cole Kmet. Do it. I'm going to get Roshan too. They're going to get rid of Swift. They're going to draft Genty and Roshan. Nice little 1-2 punch.
Index says quarterbacks 2 or 3 on your builds on average. If I get 2 like good ones, like I did a Jackson and Joe Burrow build, I'm only taking 2 there. If I don't take 2 higher guys or 2 guys I really like, then I'm going to do 3. Never 4 though. Never 4 tight ends. At least in my eyes.
Yeah, for quarterbacks, I prefer to have 2 because then I know I really like my 2. But probably more often than not, my builds have 3 because I'm just waiting for the value in the later rounds. And I won't judge you if you take 4 tight ends. They're just, kegs and eggs, 4 tight ends, live life. I drink beer after a night of men's league hockey. I don't like wake up in the early morning and be like, oh, it's time to drink beer. Time to wake up and chug beer. I'm not a beer breakfast type of person. I like a beer after
a nice Guinness with eggs
to work.
Yeah, nice Guinness with eggs. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's not me, dude.
All right. Teaches them. Oh, Bernie froze. Pretty nice screenshot there. If somebody grabs it.
I'm just dancing around the screen. That kind of sucks.
That kind of sucks, he says.
Yeah, don't like eggs, pal. I don't know what to tell you.
Really?
Never
not even scrambled?
No, I've never liked eggs. Sometimes I would dip my bread in the yolk, and that's about it.
Okay.
Overrated. Super expensive delicacy these days. Chicken eggs. What?
Damn, man. You don't know what you're missing out
on. It cost
87
cents. 87 cents for 12. Okay? That's a delicacy now.
It is. All right, I grabbed Gino. Got the old stack there with JSN. See, like on this build, when I have Mahomes and Smith, I'm probably going to take a third. I'll just take a shot on somebody at this point.
I'll take a little bit more Restrepo. I don't mind.
I love a good blacksmith. Used to hit Murphy's Irish Pub in Alexandria to watch the hardest raging drunks on St. Patty's. Nice. Solid.
I'm originally from Illinois, so like Southside Irish Parade was more up my street. Haven't really celebrated that. You're here in the DMV.
Yeah, we got a lot of local bars that'll do like kegs and eggs and fun stuff for St. Patrick's Day. So generally try to hit those up.
The best St. Patrick's Days that I had were actually unofficial St. Patrick's Day in college, when they would have it like weeks before the actual St. Patrick's Day, because everybody would be away from school. So those are always the best St. Pat's Days. Shout out University of Illinois. Wow, those people did it like it was their business to party. People would die every year. Like at least 2 to 3 people every year would die on unofficial St. Patrick's Day at the University of Illinois. And everyone's just fine with it. We're okay with it. We're here to get lit and read some books.
We're here to get lit. I like that. That's a good put that on a t-shirt.
That and high tea levels. I got high tea.
You're too used to bland food. That's why. Wonder Bread, flavorless eggs.
Yeah.
Bruni.
It might be.
Yeah. Maybe you're just not making the eggs correctly. You put some butter in your egg, or you put some a little bit of milk in your eggs to make them fluffy.
I tried Tabasco. I mean, I love Tabasco on everything. So I don't, that still didn't do it for me.
Not even a nice omelet.
No. Everyone was really positive though that hot sauce would work, and it didn't work. So fuck eggs, man.
Man,
I'm more of a bacon guy.
You can get bacon with eggs, dude. What you fucking? It's not.
I don't get up and go places to eat breakfast. If I'm gonna eat breakfast, I eat it at my home.
So you'd rather have like pancakes over eggs?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I make my daughter pancakes. I don't eat them.
I'm an egg guy. I like some eggs.
Yeah. I know you do. I know you love spending on them through the roof.
I do. I'll fucking whatever price.
I'm more expensive, says Andrew.
For the next year, yeah, I am in the know a little bit, and it's gonna for about a year or so yet. It'll probably
I'm sure
be
at some
expensive.
point the businessmen will be like, you know what, we'll make eggs cheap again, like steel too.
It makes me sad you don't eat breakfast tacos. Then breakfast tacos also really good. Also breakfast burrito.
That is fine, because literally what I eat every day for lunch is real tacos. I don't need a breakfast taco. I can eat the real tacos. There's a beautiful taco place right behind my work. I work in outside sales, and it works out really nice. I'll get to eat at this place, the 2 to 3 times of the week that I go to the office. And before I even get to the office, I'm stopping. I'm picking up my tacos. Cilantro and tomatoes.
I love tacos
and hot sauce. It's a beautiful thing. And every time somebody walks my desk, they say, tacos again? And I say, tacos again. And they nod their head and they go, all right. And they walk by. It's a good time.
Love tacos.
I don't need them for breakfast.
Oh, man. If you guys haven't had a breakfast pizza yet, though, go get that.
I swear to God, the next person that says breakfast is the most important meal in this chat, I'm going to lose it. All right. That's just a conspiracy. All right. That's just big cereal getting into your home. Okay. Just calm down.
A motto of consistency, dude. Yeah. Bernie, you like pizza, right?
No eggs on my pizza.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Eggs with some bacon, got that cheese
on your pizza,
some hot
bro?
Sauce on there. Yeah, maybe a little sausage.
Dude, no. My nanny would be like rolling. She'd lose it on me. What are you doing? That's like going to eat at Olive Garden. What are you doing, dude?
That's just like not going like what? No.
That's like the stuffed what is it? What is that? That deep fried Oreo of pizza. That's what that is. Sure, you might like it, but you look like an idiot.
Oh my God. Oh, we gotta broaden your horizons there, big guy.
I'm perfectly fine.
I'm broad.
Oh, I'm broad, all right. Oh, I get around. What's the most consistent thing that you make for dinner? Like, and you're really good at it. So, like, the best thing that you make.
Best thing. I mean, I usually do a lot of the cooking, so there's a decent amount of things that I will get.
And don't tell me eggs.
Dude, honestly, like I make this, it's just called the Raub special. It's some sort of, beef, like ground beef, and I season it. Put it in with rice or quinoa, do like some sort of like a couple different veggies in it, maybe some broccoli or corn, and then just like put it all together, mix it in, and then just layer it with cheese over top. Oh, dude, it's delicious.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds insane, but I would try it. I would
that's
broaden
good.
my horizons.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds insane.
Pizza used to make a pizza. And Pizza used to make a pizza called the Farmer's Daughter with over easy eggs and bacon on it. It wasn't half bad. Yeah, you got to get like a good breakfast pizza. Like you got to find somebody like really makes like a good breakfast pizza. But I've had a couple and they are just absolutely delicious. Bruni, what's your favorite food just in general?
Like the thing that I make most often is like fucking steak. Like I make steak, like some grilled oiled spinach, and some.
So you're like a meat potatoes kind of guy?
Yeah, and I'm in like corn with that, like some like really good like sweet spicy corn. Oh, dude, it'll fucking knock your ass out.
And again, like tacos, like my favorite food. So I've eaten plenty of tacos, but dude, if you've never had like blackened mahi tacos,
oh yeah,
mahi.
The
Delish.
steak of the sea.
Steak and eggs, buddy.
Hey, I've had. Listen. How do you think I even tried the bread with the eggs? Okay, it was steak and eggs. Literally, that's the only time that me and eggs are like confronting each other. We're experimenting. Okay, is steak and eggs. So I didn't mind that as a kid, getting that all the time. When like my parents were paying for breakfast out to places. I don't get steak and eggs now. No thanks. I'll just like not eat and make an awesome dinner. I don't know. That's me. On a plate. That's me.
Oh, damn it, man. Call me 100% Zach Ertz. Jesus Christ. I mean, I have a hard
Call
time
me
not
100%. Is that a real thing?
100% Zach Ertz. Dude, I've taken him in, I think I've not taken him in one draft so far.
My God.
Of my now 9.
Okay.
I just don't get it.
I'm going to take
probably staying
Jalen
with the Commanders.
Hopes that he goes back to Dallas.
Fish tacos done right are hard to beat. Yes, there is just delish. I used to live in Florida.
I make like shrimp tacos.
Yes, also delicious.
That I do that, but I don't do anything with like
with some dirty rice on the side
or something like that.
Yeah, get some like dirty rice with that. That's a good combo with the shrimp tacos.
Yeah, not bad at all. But I'll make a different variation of tacos. Like I'll do, like when I make like chicken for tacos, I just throw it in the air fryer now, and then I finish it off with like some salsa, like the last like 5 or 6 minutes, and it gets a nice little crust on it. And then I'll make like legit bacon bits, and I'll have like that chicken, the bacon bits, a house sauce that I make with like cilantro, jalapenos, lime, garlic, salt, pepper, stuff like that. And, top it off, tomatoes, cheese. Dude, killer. Again, it'll knock your ass out.
Bernie, enough of you getting roasted in the chat here. First Index says, "Is Troy Franklin for me? Cannot take him." I took Troy Franklin. I mean, again, like upside guy that might be able to get you a few spike weeks. Like I'm in on that in these rounds. And then AJ McQuaid says, "All in Zach Ertz is risky." It definitely is. But you're telling me that if Zach Ertz does indeed re-sign with the Commanders, that this ADP is just not wild in your mind? I mean, he just finishes as what, a top 10 tight end, and we're drafting him well into the fucking late part of the draft. I mean, I just got him in round 17. I mean, I don't know. To me, again, like I'm not going to be all in on him the entire offseason, but right now where he's going, like his ADP is going to go up the board if he does indeed re-sign with the Commanders, which as a Commanders fan, I believe that is happening.
No, he's definitely going to go back there. Yeah, maybe a little bit worried about Ben Sinnott. People were pretty high on him his rookie season, and
just for his blocking.
I know, but not every rookie tight end, is Sam Laporta. Is
they're not bringing.
Excuse me.
They're not bringing Zach Ertz back to just not play the role he just did. I mean, that's just not happening. Now, if he gets injured, sure, like that's going to suck, right? But
roles change.
Sure, I guess. I went overboard on Sanat this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, again, like a Sanat, as a Commanders fan, I obviously read a bunch of shit and follow beat reporters pretty closely. They really like his blocking ability. Like that's why they went and got him. Is they reminded him of like George Kittle's ability to block. Like they just didn't use him in the pass game. Now, will they implement him a little bit more? Probably, but not enough to like kill Zach Ertz ADP way down here. Ertz was week 17 hero too, of course. Yeah, like I mean, he's there when you need him.
So was Jalen McMillan. Not drafting enough of him, are you?
I'm gonna say, but dude, I was all over McMillions last year.
Just not into the updated cost.
I'd like to see what happens with Godwin first before I start going in. I have taken him in a couple drafts. Like I'm fine taking him there. It's just I would prefer to know that he is going to indeed, get a little bit of a larger role for his cost.
Heard.
I'm at 2.573 right now. We got 3 rounds to go. Probably going to try to finish this off here either 2.693 or 3.683.
I'm going running back. I'll be doing 2.792.
Okay. Don't hate it.
Yeah, Ant agrees about this, about Godwin coming back and McMillan still being a good pick. I mean, I'd like a better value on McMillan, but I'm willing to pay the price. And just seeing his touchdown upside down the stretch of the season, I think that should just warrant enough. 2 touchdowns week 17, if that's not a hero for you in best ball, I don't know what is.
You're right. Ertz is like a discount Kelsey. Yeah, now if Ertz was like going like
Last
the 8th
year,
round, I wouldn't be doing it, but he's not. It's just going so late. Godwin's coming back. McMillan is still a good pick. Yeah, I mean, and I agree. I don't know. At that cost, how many weeks do you think he's going to be your wide receiver 3 or 2?
I mean, if he plays like he did down the stretch of the season, it could be pretty often.
That was without Godwin.
Sure. People just don't get worse. They tend to get better in this league. So, I don't know. I see him having a much more regular role this year. No, Ant was saying about like Baker threw for a ton of yards, touchdowns as well. I mean, yeah, he was a top 5 guy. But even if you get a slight bit of regression there and you have some more counterbalance in the snaps and, the roles for those receivers, I think that balances out to McMillan staying pretty steady to his value last year and giving him a very fair shot to go above it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you were to regress on
Rob, any smoke on McCaffrey? Been stacking him on Daniels a lot. I haven't heard too much about McCaffrey, like what his role is going to be now that they have Debo in there too. They used him, sporadically throughout the season. I think he's a good player. I'm just not sure like where he fits within the offense, especially if they go and add a wide receiver in the draft. Like I don't know really where he is. Like I would not go overboard on McCaffrey whatsoever right now. Yeah, I mean it's tough to if you've been stacking him before the Debo, like I get that, but now with Debo there, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to really see the field without some sort of big time injury to one of these guys. They like him on the return game, they like him in special teams, but obviously that doesn't do anything for us here.
Trying to get some deep scrolls at running back. Nothing really popping here.
I like Mullings.
Free. No, I have one. I have one dialed in here. Antonio Gibson was in the queue, but he gone.
Any quarterbacks left that you like? There's Cousins, Wilson, Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston. I mean,
these are all fine. Yeah, I mean, Cousins, Wilson,
Jalen Milroe.
Jalen Milroe, I think, could be a backup, but could start down the stretch of the year. Landing spot really matters for him. Daniel Jones, I've seen like rumored to the Colts recently. That could be interesting. Jameis could easily be a starter. Beyond that, I'm probably a little bit more timid. Not taking any of those guys. But any of those guys are fine picks right now because they will be round 18 picks, come the big board. So getting them in the 20th round, you're building out a little bit more value elsewhere, whether it be young and or old.
Mm-hmm. Wide receiver has thinned out pretty hard. So there's still a couple guys here that have spike week potentials. I mean, we talk about Nick Westbrook-Akine a bunch. I mean, all that dude does is score touchdowns. So, I mean, not a bad pick there. Jalen Polk still feels slightly interesting. It depends on what they do at wide receiver there as
It
well.
really depends on what they do in free agency, the draft. Because I still really like Demario Douglas just based on his skill set, having the experience over Polk. Polk would be a potential year 2 breakout guy for me. I definitely put him into like that type of that category, where I could see him having some upside. But you need some vast changes there. And I mean, just like last year, like you need the room to clear. At one point, we were looking at like 8 or 9 receivers on the Patriots depth chart, and it was just super annoying. People were still taking like Keyshawn Boutte, thinking like that was going to be a thing. It's like, guys, like just tap out. Like it's come on. Like just completely unnecessary shots being taken in that grouping.
Mm-hmm.
Is Darius Slayton a free agent? I feel like he would look so much better on any other team in the league.
Honestly, don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not up to date on the Slayton news.
Darius Slayton needs some love. Great skill, just getting wasted in New York or New Jersey,
Index,
whichever you identify with.
Index says Vele. I was also potentially looking at him, to pair up with. And again, I know we talked about this, and I'm sure we'll go over this throughout the offseason. But taking guys towards the end of the drafts, like 2 guys from the same team to try to get one of them to be decent. Like I took Troy Franklin, like Vele would have been an option to do that with. I know last year, we were doing that with some of the teams. So still think that that's a viable option in drafts this year is, take 2 guys from the same team late and hope that one of them turns into something.
I have
all right, I'm going to take Kirk.
I have both ETNs on my team.
Nice.
Yeah. The old brotherly stack.
Friendship strategy.
Womb strategy. Shared the womb. I like Brenton Strange. Nice little late round click here. I know that they're letting go of Christian Kirk. I still think that Strange did enough this year to get himself on the field again in 2025, whether that's in a shared role with Evan Ingram or with Evan Ingram also potentially getting cut or leaving. That GM and head coach, they have really no allegiance to those guys. Obviously, Ingram, Kirk both brought in on pretty lucrative contracts. I think Strange is a huge value right now. If you're really in the belief that Evan Ingram's going to get cut or get dropped, you need to start staring pretty hard at this ADP here.
Yeah.
Ingram, not a great blocker index, and Brenton Strange, he was able to do it all. He can block, and he actually had some pretty solid like yards per catch. I think it was hovering close to like 9 or 10. Would lead the position. Just didn't have a ton of volume still because he played limited amount of games as a starter.
Mm-hmm. All right, Bruni, bring up the teams here so we can roll through these quick. Just give our small thoughts and grade of each team. First up, we will have Vaporware at the 101. Oh, wait, is Vaporware in here? No, I don't think he's in here.
I don't think he showed himself. So.
All right, well, we'll wait to see. Well, then we'll skip Vaporware for now, see if he actually is in here. But then it would be me. I went 3-6-8-3, took Patrick Mahomes, Geno Smith, and Kirk Cousins. Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, Cam Scatterbo, Kendre Miller, JSN, Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, Luther Burden, Christian Kirk, Amari Cooper, Troy Franklin, Tay Felton, and then tight ends David Njoku, Jake Ferguson, and Zach Ertz. Bruni, roast away, buddy.
Pretty good. I like the depth at running back here, minus Kendre Miller. So pretty solid grade for running back. Didn't feel like you needed Kirk, but, again, getting a solid QB that late, it gives you a little bit of upside some week that Mahomes wants to poo-poo. So the projections will love you there, but I still say it's, you could have maybe gotten another running back. And you are, technically we don't have a schedule yet. So, 3 QBs, it's there's some live play there, a little bit more upside. Receivers, JSN, Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, Burden, Kirk. I like Kirk and Amari at their value. Troy Franklin as well. So like that. Yeah, this is pretty good. You are going to get an 8. We'll say an 8.3. Feeling nice.
Oh my God. Yeah, feeling nice. Jeez. Somebody's got laid. All right. Bruni, you are next up.
Caleb Williams, Dak
2692 or 2792.
2792, excuse me. Caleb, Dak, Jahmyr Gibbs, Johnny Taylor, Travis Etienne Jr., Devin Neal, Roshan Johnson, Audric Estime, Trevor Etienne, DJ Moore, Jamison Williams, Sutton, McMillan, Trey Harris, Romeo Dobbs, Xavier Restrepo, Jack Besh, Jalen Tolbert, Sam Laporta, Cole Kmet. I like it.
Not bad. I like your 2 quarterbacks, especially, obviously getting Dak, at ADP. I do think that he will rise up the board as we move through the offseason. Running backs, I love Gibbs and Taylor. I know you waited a long time to go get a third one, but I do like I'm not a big fan of Travis Etienne. I know that you do believe that he is going to repay that ADP. I like Devin Neal and Roshan Johnson. I feel like both those guys could. Yeah, big Roshan guy. If you guys are just starting to follow along the channel here, Audric Estime, I don't mind that, as well as Denver is kind of just unknown at what they're going to do at running backs. And then Trevor Etienne, again, I took him last draft. I feel like he could make some sort of impact, maybe closer to the end of the year, which is obviously where all the money is made.
He had a pretty decent 40, I think. Wasn't he like top 5 for running backs?
Don't love it. I'm honestly not sure. I really don't know, to be honest with you. Jamie checking in. He said, "Hey, dude,
he was
just in time for Roshan talk."
He was number 6. He ran a 4.42.
Okay. Yeah, he was good. Like, I don't have any qualms with Trevor Etienne there. I like your first 4 wide receivers, in Moore, Williams, Sutton, and McMillan. I know we talked a little bit about McMillan there. The Trey Harris and Restrepo, both a good picks there in my eyes. The Dobbs one, again, I'm of the camp of I don't know what to do with the wide receivers there, so I'm kind of just letting them go. And then Tolbert could be a nice piece as a stack for you. And then obviously I really like Sam Laporta, and I know you really like Cole Kmet. Overall, not bad. A good build for how you constructed your team. Let's go. I'll go 7.9843269.
Very good. Jamie saying sorry he missed a show. Started a live Dynasty podcast. Let's go. Love it.
Oh, that's what's up. If anybody wants to go check that out. All right. Is Lolsimo in the chat as well? Did he ever say anything?
I don't think that he did.
Okay. I know Green Bean's in here. We saw him pop his head up, so let's go to Green Bean.
2783. You got Josh Allen, Michael Penis Penix, Chuba Hubbard, Travion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Ray Davis, Brashad Smith, LaQuint Allen Jr., and Antonio Gibson. Puka Nacua, Drake London, Khalil Shakir, Darnell Mooney, Keon Coleman, Cedric Tillman, Demario Douglas, Dante Thornton Jr., and then Tucker Kraft, Kincaid, Jatavian Sanders.
Jatavian Sanders, a friend of the program.
A lot of shots here. I like the Allen stacking. Didn't get a Buffalo, you did get a Buffalo running back in Ray Davis. We'll go 7.5. I think you just get more confidence in this as you get more landing spots for some of these guys. A lot of question marks here. Same thing. I love Cedric Tillman, but who's his quarterback next year? I just think there's a lot of question marks in the lineup. Kind of same thing for Darnell Mooney. Was super high on Mooney last year. Again, not knowing the quarterback scenario, not that great. Jamie asking if anyone drafted 4 times.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, Jatavian Sanders. In theory, I like Kraft, but what if Luke Musgrave is a thing? I'm kind of timid with the tight ends with Green Bay right now. Plus, if they add another receiver, I don't love Dalton Kincaid. It's just me. And you got him at a little bit of a value, which I do like when you're getting him. Andrew definitely will talk him up more than myself. But you did get him stacked with Josh Allen. So really, if you're going to get him, I mean, that's the way to do it. And man, yeah, I love Jatavian Sanders. Would have just loved if you got the stack with Bryce Young. Love Bryce Young this year, making a potential step forward. Had a great finish to last year.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice team. Again, like I like all the stacking that Green Bean did here. Also took some shots with 3 rookies at running back. I don't mind that either. You're hoping at least one, if not 2 of those guys can provide you value. I say the running back room slightly light, on talent there as a whole, but overall, like not terrible. Like the wide receivers though, starting out with Nakua, London, and Shakir, like that trio there that you got at the top. And then, obviously I already said it, the stacking portion, a couple of, upside guys, low floor guys at the end for the wide receivers. Don't hate that. Again, you're just taking shots. And then the tight end room, again, like Brady said, like I like Kincaid more than the average bear. So I like that pick for you. And then of course we do like Jatavian Sanders here on the Fanspeak Network. Overall, not a terrible team, slightly light on running back. I'm going to go 7-3.
Candyman, last person up.
Yep.
All right, so we have 2, 6, 9, 3. Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, 2 top 5 quarterbacks from last year. That's nice. Devon Achane, Najee Harris, Tajay Spears, Algier, Jordan James, Jaden Blue, Neighbors, Evans, Pickens, Godwin. Evans and Godwin, I don't know. Emeka Egbuka, Travis Hunter ahead of ADP. We do not agree. We do not concur. Jordan Winnington, well after ADP, so that's solid. Tez Johnson, well ahead of ADP. That's a no-no. Jayon Dotson, free. I actually love the Jayon Dotson pick more than like the previous 3 receivers selected: Hunter, Winnington, and Tez. Dallas Goedert, Cade, Otton, Hunter, Henry, kind of some middling tight ends, but Dallas Goedert bring back with Hurts. Dotson just the same. Obviously getting Baker, Evans, and Godwin is nice. I just don't think that that's going to be 2025's version of, Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. And that might be what you're going to need to really bring home like the high yielding results when you're doing something like that. If you're able to somehow get like Hurts, Brown, and Smith, I think that would be interesting. But you would probably need a Saquon injury for that to really, cap off.
So score?
7.
7. Okay. I'm probably gonna like this a little better than you. I love the quarterback duo that you got there in Hurts and Mayfield. That is solid. Running backs, again, some solid picks there. I like Achane. I like Tajay. I don't know a ton about Jordan James and Jaden Blue. So those guys definitely question marks in my eyes. Algier with an injury could be absolutely great, or if he goes to another team, which we did talk about on a previous show. So running back room, okay, not bad. Wide receivers, though, I do like the top like 5 guys that you got. There's some solid picks there. Again, like Bruni said, Travis Hunter, not taking him above ADP, only if he falls like 15, 20 picks past, to be honest, as of right now, at least.
We have a disagreement in the chat from the boss herself. She said,
no.
Take the swings.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, after ADP is the time to take a swing for me. You gotta for sure play offense first. And like I said, I said earlier in the show, like he could be a gadget. I just don't think he's like an every down weapon. And you're just playing for, I still think, a few spike weeks on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Start giving us tackles. We're talking about a different conversation here.
Yeah, and then I like Whittington and Tez Johnson. Both those guys. So I like that. And then the Dotson pick in my eyes is like whatever. But he did stack it with Hurts, so
that's
maybe
what I'm saying. It's a good bring back and a good value. We saw him spring on, towards the end of the season. So I would feel good about that.
Yeah, he could, and definitely with an injury that'll truly help. And then tight ends, Goddard, Otton, and Henry. I think he was more or less just looking for guys that can score touchdowns there, which obviously at the tight end position you really want. So overall, not a bad team. I'm gonna give him 7-5.
And we're gonna come back to Lil Selmo.
Yeah, Lil Simo's here. Woo.
All right, we got 3, 6, 8, 3, very balanced there. We got Kyler, Herbert, McCarthy. I like that start. Brees Hall, James Conner, B-Rob Jr., Jalen Wright, Corum, Will Shipley. I like some of these year 2 breakout opportunities in Jalen Wright and Blake Corum. Pretty solid at running back. Will Shipley, a little bit questionable, but I could see the shot. Saquon gets hurt. Where's the ball going to go? Nico Collins, Lad McConkey, Devontae Smith, little friendship stack there with old Will Shipley. Devontae Adams, Hollywood Brown, Old Man Adam Thielen, Adonai Mitchell, Torrey Horton, Hawkinson, Schultz, Will Disley.
Oh, a little Will Disley sighting. I like
this
it with
one
the
kind of
Herbert.
died off for me after Hollywood Brown. I'm gonna say a 7-5.
Okay. I mean, again, like I like the quarterback trio that he got there, especially Murray and Herbert. Like that a lot. Running backs very solid with the first three in my eyes. I like Wright as well. Devon Achane, if he gets hurt, he could potentially just be the guy now that Mostert is left. And then Corum, again, a guy that if Kyron goes down, we already see what Sean McVay does with those guys. He inserts one guy and just fucking gives them all the work. So like that a lot too. And he did the same thing with Will Shipley, I'm assuming. Wide receivers, first three guys, awesome. Adams at a right spot could be great as well. And then took a shot with Hollywood Brown. I'm not a Thielen lover, so automatically docking half a point there. And then, Adonai Mitchell and Horton, high upside guys potentially. And then Hawkinson, Schultz, and Disley. I think you just got like run of the mill guys that could get you, middling weeks, but maybe a spike week here and there at tight end. So don't love it, but fine. Overall though, nice stacking as well. Let's go 7-7.
7-7. We got Disbanded Brotherhood dropping the dot. The dot. On time dime in the chat here with that dot. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I like Jalen Wright this year just because you look at what the Dolphins have done in years past, implementing a two-back system. If we get some, return to normality there and, the passing weapons are taking off and we're starting to split touches a little bit more at running back, Jalen Wright under that first-year tutelage, I think definitely is in a good position for a potential year two breakout. I mean, not that long ago, Raheem Mostert had scored, 18 rushing touchdowns, and Achane was still, a pretty viable weapon in the offense. I don't think that we see a huge correction like that this year, but I do think that Jalen Wright is very live for an active role in that offense in 2025.
Yes, definitely. I 100% agree.
All right, awesome. Very good draft. Very good stream. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Be sure to smash the like button on your way out the door. Share the video with friends. Follow the channel. Get your friends to follow the channel. We're giving away $500 to our subscribers, and we're like, what would you say, 35 away?
35
Let's
away.
start moving the needle there. Let's start moving the needle. Sooner we get to that giveaway, the sooner we get to the next one and the next one and the next one. We're here for it as we march on, like we said, to 1,000 subs. So let's do our due diligence on the old button pressing before we head on out. Andrew, anything to share before we kick it?
No, just keep coming back every day for the FanSpeak network. We have shows constantly for you guys. We're going to have Meg and Steve on for the sibling showdown. Feel free to draft along with them as well tomorrow. And then, of course, just everyone else on the network constantly doing shows every single day. So we have something for you guys. Make sure if you haven't already, like Bruni said, sub to the network. And Bruni and I will be back Monday night. New time for us. Instead of Sunday nights, going to go to Monday nights, and we'll be back with some more good content surrounded around best ball drafts. Bruni, take us out, big dog.
Yep. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Take care. Be well. Be good. If you can't be good at it. We'll see you.